Hi everybody, welcome back to Homestead Seed. I'm Lisa, and today I'm going to be making some lasagna, so I thought I would bring you along and how I make homemade pasta from scratch. So right now I got my sauce going. I'll take you in closer so you can see. It's a basic Italian spaghetti sauce. So I have a pound of my hamburger from local raised beef and a pound of our Italian sausage that we raised, with 2 jars of my home canned tomato sauce from last year, and some onions and some homegrown basil and oregano and some chopped garlic. So I have all that going in here, and this is going to simmer for probably an hour or two until I'm ready for it, so it can just marry all those flavors together while we get to work. So over here, pasta is really super easy to make. You want to do 3 cups of flour to 4 eggs. These are home raised eggs, so they're already room temperature. So I'm just going to make a big well right here on my counter. If you have a food processor, you can do that too, but I kind of like to use my hands for this part. And then I have my KitchenAid out here with the little roller attachment, so I'll just roll that out into long strips. And then this is the pan I plan to use, so I'll cut them a length of my pan so I can have 2 strips like that. And whatever is extra I can just throw in the freezer for another time. All right, let's get started. All right guys, this little bunny rabbit wanted to come help me make some pasta, so she's going to be doing all the measuring out and the beginning part of mixing together. All right, so Evelyn, we need to put 3 cups of flour just right here in one big pile. Next time maybe we should put your hair all the way up, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, I remember when we
Okay, remember
that.
Use your knuckles and make a little well. Like this, and we have 4 eggs to put there. And it's okay if it gets on the counter. I already washed it. All right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Here are your eggs. Just crack them right into there. Those are fresh ones, so we know those are okay.
flour hands.
That's okay.
So I just
Yep, just crack them in the center just like you're cracking them in a dish.
These are gonna fall off.
Whoop.
Oh.
Okay, now put the shell right back on the plate. All right, let's do all of them.
My hands are gonna be sticky because
they're gonna be really full of a bunch of stuff there.
You get it, flour and eggs, make stuff, and that's cool because it's just like you can make like a mini flour bowl and not waste any of your dishes.
Yep, less dishes to wash.
Oh. Yep. That's right. Oopsies.
All right, let's give it a little bit of salt. More like that.
There's a lot of salt.
All right, you want to go ahead and pop the yolks and stir them up a little bit.
And you want to scooch the flour in with your little bench scraper.
Not yet. You got to mix that up a little better first.
Yep. Oh, some flour's coming in.
That's okay. That's going to happen. Then I come through and mess up your party there.
If that's what I was talking about, you're going to do that. It looks brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tap.
And then scoop and pull over like that.
It's getting into dough. Ooh, that feels kind of good. It's kind of like Play-Doh.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this. It's called kneading the dough.
It is called kneading. Good job. Now I'm just kind of incorporating it into a ball. It's pretty crumbly right now, isn't it?
Mom, this one feels like pasta.
It feels like pasta.
And can I touch it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is cool. That's what eggs and flour make dough.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Just 2 ingredients make such a yummy dish.
Oh, I have some leftover egg on my finger.
All right, you want to knead that for a little bit?
Yeah, how do you knead again?
Remember, you want to pull it towards you bend it in half, and then push. Then turn, kind of pull it up, bend it in half, and push.
Oh, yeah, right.
There's lots of different ways you can knead. Some people don't do that.
I wish
Some people try to do like a heart shape. They'll just push it this way, then that way, and this way, and that way. You kind of just find what works for yourself.
This is gonna fall too much.
What?
Eva.
Yeah.
Push.
All right, we're gonna get this dough finished, and we'll bring you back what it looks like when we're done. Okay, it comes together pretty quickly. This was just about another minute of kneading it and getting up all the flour off the board and off our hands and stuff. So now I'm gonna knead this for 10 minutes, and then we'll let it rest for 30.
Turn. Push. Go. Turn. You have to knead lots of doughs.
All right, here's my finished ball of dough. I'm gonna wrap it up in some saran wrap and just let it sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes. That will let everything relax a little bit, all the gluten that we put together by kneading it. So we're gonna let it relax so we can roll it out a little easier. The recipe isn't exact. It's kind of like bread. Sometimes you need more water or more flour. As you can see when my daughter scooped out the flour, it was a scant cup each time because I knew my eggs were a little small. I pull out the smaller eggs because we sell our eggs. So I like to only sell the bigger eggs. So I pull out the smaller ones and we use them ourselves. So I knew they were a little smaller, so it worked out perfectly. I didn't add any more flour or any more water to this. So now I'm just gonna wrap it up and let it rest for 30 minutes. All right, so I just unwrapped my dough here. I'm gonna cut this into 4 sections. I'm only gonna work with half of it at a time so it doesn't dry out. But I like to do 2 sections at one time. It makes it a little bit easier. Not have to change all the settings on my roller outer. But if you don't have one of these things to add onto your KitchenAid mixer or one of those hand crank ones, you can just use a rolling pin. It'll just take a little bit extra time. So what I'm gonna do here, I have a little bit of bench flour. You want to keep this well floured when you put it through your machine or else it could get stuck in there. So I'm kind of just gonna shape it into a rectangle the best I can just to kind of flatten it out so it will go through the rollers. Okay, now I'll take you on the other side of that. And I'll get this going through here. So you want to start out at the widest setting. And I'm just gonna go through 2 times. I'll probably do this one maybe just a little bit more than 2 times, just so I can get a good shape. It doesn't have to be perfect since it's gonna be inside of my dish anyways, but you wanna try to make it as rectangle as possible. My daughter wanted to show you guys this rock. See how it glitters? It's like fool's gold. So pretty. All right. Thanks, Everlyn, for showing that to us. And then we'll change our settings. Do that. Good. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour here. Then I'm going to go to number 2, then I'll do 4, then I'll do 6, and then they'll be ready to go. All right, this is my first 2 pieces of pasta dough that I went through. I did it on the 0 setting until I got it into the shape I wanted. Twice on 2, twice on 4, then 1 time on 6. And that equaled this, and that's just about perfect for what you want for any type of pasta. So from here, you could cut it into strips to make lasagna, or spaghetti, or fettuccines, or bow ties, or whatever you really wanted. You could even do it into raviolis and then just fold it over and make ravioli. I do that too sometimes, but today we're making lasagna. So I measured my dish, and my dish is 11 inches long. So what I'll do is I'll just cut my pieces of lasagna into 11 inches, and then that will fit into the bottom of my pan perfectly. All right, and then these maybe I can use as overlapping pieces, or if they're extra, then I can just end up putting those into something else, make them into little bow ties or something. All right, now I'm gonna go do the same thing to those. All right, so I got all my pasta laid out and cut out, and now we're ready to start assembling. I had my sauce over here simmering. I went ahead and took the lid off so it would go ahead and evaporate some of the water that was in there. One jar of this was cherry tomato sauce, which it has a higher content than like a slicing tomato. So I like to take the lid off the last 30 minutes or so it gets a little thicker. And I also went ahead and made up my ricotta. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly. I usually just say ricotta because I'm not Italian. But I went ahead and made up the cheese mixture with mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese and 3 small eggs. And I shredded up all my mozzarella cheese in my food processor. So I'll go ahead and get all that stuff out and we'll start assembling. All right, I have all my stuff out and I went ahead and lightly sprayed my pan. I'm just gonna go ahead and start layering. And I didn't cook any of this pasta, so it should cook right in with the sauce and everything. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to try and use about 1/3 of this. And we'll try to get that many layers. I think everybody has their own way and recipe to make lasagna. I kind of found a recipe to go off of, but of course I didn't follow it. I didn't put any garlic in this because my sauce has quite a bit of garlic. I don't think you're supposed to do any shredded cheese like this either, but I'm going to. All right, now I'll repeat those layers 2 more times. All right, you guys, there she is. It's very, very full. I probably should have done a little bit less layers than that. But what I'll do is I'll just put a cookie sheet underneath the rack underneath of this, just in case anything falls out, it'll fall out onto that. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cover this with foil and put it in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. And then I'll unwrap it and do a little bit of extra mozzarella cheese right on top. Then it'll go for 20 more minutes, then it'll be ready to go. All right, you guys, she's done. Got a little bit of extra sauce here I'm keeping on low. My husband loves to have a little extra sauce to go on top, especially when you reheat it because the pasta absorbs so much of that. Beautiful. Let me see you guys' recipes. Drop them down in the comment section below.